Hi and welcome to today's video. So in this video we're going to talk about securing Wi-Fi hotspots and why it's really important you need to secure those guys. Let's do it. Now the number one reason you need to secure your Wi-Fi hotspot is because you are on the hook. Yeah, because your internet connection has something which we call an IP address, which the service provider, AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, whoever, know exactly who is paying the bill on that address. So, if some crazy relative decides to stop by, or maybe even a hacker decides to stop by and post a threat to the White House Facebook page, guess what? You are on the hook. They do not care if your Wi-Fi got hacked or if your crazy second removed cousin stopped by and decided to send a threat to the White House. They don't care. They are going to put you on the hook because you pay the bill for that connection. So you have to secure that Wi-Fi and you have to be very careful about who is using your Wi-Fi. Let's see how we can do that. First, pick a random name or password. It could be your dog's name, the cat's name, anything you want for the name. Do not give user name that actually identifies yourself, your address, anything about you. So make it something fairly random for your Wi-Fi SSID name. That way, someone who's trolling the neighborhood who has a grudge out on you for whatever reason is not going to know it's your Wi-Fi. That is the first thing. And don't give the name out to anybody. Second thing, completely random password. I mean completely random. Just pick up a random string. Don't make it something that can be guessed. The only way you can basically crack a Wi-Fi password these days really is basically if you ask the person, okay? With Web 2 is very secure. You have to ask the person to get the password under normal circumstances. So just make it something that is very secure. Don't make it your dog's name, your cat's name, something which can be guessed. Just make it something very secure and do not give it out, because if you give it out, you've just blown your cover and anyone can now jump on your Wi-Fi hotspot and do whatever they want, you know. So don't give your Wi-Fi password out at all. Reduce your Wi-Fi power. Yes, we are not running Voice of America here. There is no need to broadcast your Wi-Fi to the entire block, neighborhood, or city. The one reason behind that is if you look at this chart here, you can see there are on 2 gigahertz Wi-Fi, there are 14 channels. But really, only 4 of them are available at any one time. So you're making it much easier for your neighbors to use Wi-Fi if you turn down the power so nobody outside your house can actually access your Wi-Fi. Second point is, they can only hack it if they see it. If they have no idea it exists, if they can't even hear your Wi-Fi, they're not going to be able to hack it, more or less. Unless they have a fancy antenna on top of their car or something, they're not going to be able to pick up on your Wi-Fi. And if you have paid your cell phone bill, there is no way to be accessed. There's no reason you can need to access your Wi-Fi in your driveway. So just keep the Wi-Fi to the living room and the bedrooms and everywhere else, but don't broadcast your Wi-Fi to the whole entire street. It's impolite to your neighbors, and it opens you up to vulnerabilities because everybody can see your Wi-Fi, and especially if you haven't changed the name of it, everybody knows whose Wi-Fi that is. They can just ask your dog's name and maybe they've guessed the password. Now occasionally guests will stop by and ask you for your Wi-Fi password. That is why we're going to use a guest network for the Wi-Fi, for the guest Wi-Fi, because we do not know what kind of state their machines are in. A guest network, what a guest network does is it gives you direct connection to the internet, okay? So it doesn't access any of your internal cameras, your Alexa devices, any of that stuff is not connected to your guest network. The guest network goes straight out to the internet on these devices. That way, if Uncle Bob stops by with his Windows XP laptop that has 2,000 viruses on it, guess what? He's not going to be infecting your whole entire network. He may piss everybody on the internet off with his viruses, but he's not going to infect your network, which is a good thing. The second thing is that when the guests leave, you can change the password. As soon as those guests leave, change the password. You may notice a lot of hotels nowadays, they have a weekly guest password that recycles once a week to something random. That is so that someone can't stop by a week later and start using their Wi-Fi for malicious activity. Because like I said earlier on, if someone uses your Wi-Fi for something bad, they're going to come after you. They're not going to come after the bad guy who's now 20 miles away, driving away laughing. They're going to come after you. So, use a guest network, but change the password frequently after you've had the guests, especially if your guests are a little crazy. Change the default username and password for the admin portal, for crying out loud, please. Yes, I went to a certain restaurant in Orlando. This is a national restaurant. I'm not going to mention the name because they will sue my butt probably. And guess what? They hadn't changed their default password. And as a result, the Wi-Fi access point was changed to Kiss My Butt. Exactly. Not very nice to your customers. And the person accessed that Wi-Fi hotspot, what else did they change in that hotspot? What did they do to it? Well, they go into the admin portal, obviously, and they changed the name of the Wi-Fi for a good laugh. But what on earth did they do to it? Could they be rerouting data? Could they be capturing credentials? We really don't know. So at that point, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm not using their Wi-Fi at all, and I haven't since then. So, change your default admin portal password, please. And I have seen restaurants have default passwords. I have seen hotels have default passwords. I went to a hotel once. I looked up the name of the gateway, typed in admin and password, and guess what? I was into their admin portal. As easy as that. And I could have gone in there and redirected traffic and all kinds of things. I'm a nice guy, so I didn't do that. But please, 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 for all things holy, change your default admin portal password. And if you can set up SSL on the admin portal, please set up secure SSL on the admin portal so people can't snoop your password as well. For all things holy, this is common sense, guys, please. Update the firmware. Yes, the firmware is a software that sits on your router, and so most of us are aware of that. Update it because these people that make these routers aren't exactly saints, and sometimes they make mistakes in the software. So make sure it has the latest firmware. Preferably has auto update turned on, and even better if you can reboot the router once a week. That's automatically. That's probably a good thing as well. So you make sure it gets this firmware update and it restarts, because over time, there's memory leaks and the RAM fills up and you need to restart these things. So make sure you're reading the latest firmware, so there's no vulnerabilities in there, or at least there's reduced the number of vulnerabilities in there. And make sure you use auto update as well, please, people. Auto update and reboot that sucker once a week. There is nothing wrong at all with turning your Wi-Fi hotspot off. Yes, I know it appears to be against some people's religion, but are you really going to access the Wi-Fi hotspot at 3 o'clock in the morning or when you're on vacation 2,000 miles away? You're not. What's so wrong with just unplugging that thing from the wall for a couple of weeks when you're on vacation, or maybe putting a timer plug on it so it turns off when you're at work or when you're at school, so then it's just not there anymore? If you unplug something from a network, it cannot be hacked. I say again, if you unplug something and it is powered off, the bad guys cannot get into it. And it's that easy. I had an event several years ago now where a machine was accessed, and I was actually watching the mouse pointer move around the screen, controlled by a guy in China I didn't actually know. So guess what? The first thing I did, unplugged it, powered it off. That is the number one rule. If you see a data breach in progress of something bad's going on, just unplug it and turn it off. And obviously, if you unplug your router at home, that's it. You've shut down your gateway in and out of the house for things, and nobody can access it. Now, it's a little different if you have security cameras and stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to turn it off when you're at work, and that's understandable. But, if you're not using it, you can just turn it off. Easy, simple, effective, and nobody can get in at that point. So I hope you found this video informative and useful. Click down there, like, share and subscribe, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you.